This is the Hot 7 Nightly News.
Good evening. It is Wednesday, 23rd April 2025. I am Daniela Edwin. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We are on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and the Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. Not forgetting those of you using the Hot 7 plug and play antenna. Thank you so much for joining us. On April 23rd, the Department of Labor and Gender Affairs kicked off the 2025 Labor Day festivities, highlighting the contributions of employees in the workplace. The subject for this year emphasized the significance of both technical innovation and workplace safety.
The Department of Labor and Gender Affairs officially launched the 2025 Labor Day celebrations on April 23, 2025. The launch outlined a series of activities aimed at honoring workers' contributions in the workforce. The event, attended by government officials and union representatives, highlighted the theme, Revolutionizing Health and Safety, the Role of AI and Digitalization at Work. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labor and Gender Affairs, Shelia Imbert, emphasizes the importance of recognizing the safety of all workers and the use of AI in the workplace.
In a world that is rapidly evolving, the integration of technology into our workplaces is not just a trend, it is a necessity. As we navigate the complexities of modern work environments, we must recognize the profound impact that artificial intelligence and digitalization can have on enhancing health and safety standards for all workers. Today, we stand at the forefront of a revolution, one that empowers us to create safer, more efficient, and more inclusive workplaces.
The president of the Trade Union Federation, Julian Monrose, expressed the true meaning of Labor Day and encourages all workers to recognize their rights.
Labor Day is also meant to recognize the labor movement and the tremendous effort that the movement makes in bettering the lives of workers, promoting issues of decent work, of rights of workers. And that's not all we do, but we also encourage our workers to produce and to improve on productivity.
Minister of Labor and Gender Affairs, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, highlighted some of the Labor Department's internal upgrades, which were aimed at improving the working environment for both staff of the ministry and the general working population.
But we are seeing some movement. The Department of Labor, the Prime Minister, in dialogue with me, agreed that we needed to strengthen the human resource capacity of the department. And therefore, he agreed to put in a new permanent secretary in the person of Mrs. Sheila Imbert as the permanent secretary in the Department of Labor. We have also addressed some staffing issues, but we have quite a few more to do to strengthen the department. We are also looking at we have mentioned the issue of the minimum wage and the labor tribunal that was looking for a home to operate. We have succeeded in finding a place for them. And then we have in the budget that the Prime Minister has placed $300,000 to review the Labor Act and also to develop the legislation, the regulations that go with the Act. When the Act was designed a few years ago, it did not have a set of regulations with it. So there are several interpretations to certain sections of the Act. The employer interprets it one way, the workers interpret it, the lawyers interpret it another way. But if we have the regulation, it would be clear as to what the common language should be in the Act. And that is the purpose of the exercise.
The Labour Minister further noted that she has been a stern advocate for workers within the current administration and will continue to do for the benefit of all.
In looking at the issue of workers in the country, is one where I have not changed the language, even if some people may call you politician, but once a worker once a representative of workers, you may in your subconscious pretend you are not, but you are. And the workers are watching you every step of the way to call foul and tell you you have to do it again. However, I have been one of the constant reminders of my cabinet colleagues that the name Labour government is not for cosmetic purposes. If we are a Labour government, we have to address the issues of workers. So when the Prime Minister articulates a number of issues in the benefit of workers, it's part of the government policy that we have to make things better.
The Labor Day celebrations will feature a range of activities, including workshops on workers' rights, panel discussions on gender equality in the workplace, and community outreach programs. These events aim to foster a more inclusive and equitable labor environment in Saint Lucia. For Hot 7 TV News, Josiah Bissett reporting.
Saint Lucia celebrated with pride as its 2025 Carifta Games team returned home after their stellar performance at the regional championships in Trinidad and Tobago. The athletes were serenaded at the port of entry by well-wishers and officials whose presence spoke to the magnitude of their achievements.
A wave of national pride swept through Saint Lucia as the island welcomed home its 2025 Carifta Games team following a record-breaking performance at the 52nd edition of the regional championships held in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. The team arrived at George F.L. Childs Airport at 9:30 a.m. to a hero's welcome greeted by government officials, family members and enthusiastic supporters. The Minister of Youth Development and Sports, Kenson Kazime, expressed his pride and gratitude for the performance of the team.
I am exceedingly proud of the achievements of these athletes here today, every single one of you. I think historically, especially during my time in Carifta, one of the Cariftas I attended was in Grenada. We were all happy that individuals made the final. As if that time you made a Carifta final, you really achieved something amazing. And if we look at across the field in both track and field, and of course swimming, most of the athletes either had a personal best time, made the final, or medaled. So I think that is a significant achievement for both sporting disciplines.
Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre expressed the government's continued involvement with the development of young athletes.
It's very difficult for you to see what you're going to do financially for amateur athletes. I've been warned I must be careful about. But what I can tell you is we'll surely have discussions with the associations to see how we can move forward. And the government will support. I can pledge that the government will support. The government will make some financial support available to you, but we will work out the mechanics of how we can do that with the associations and with the parents. So I will not proclaim what we will do, but I can assure you we will definitely give you some tangible support.
As St. Lucia celebrates this historic performance, the nation looks forward to building on this momentum and continuing to support its athletes on the regional and international stages. For Hot 7 TV News, Josiah Bissett reports.
In his 2025-2026 budget address, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre presented a human, people-centered strategy, emphasizing responsible governance, economic relief, and social support. No new taxes, increased healthcare and education assistance, pension improvements, and tax benefits for both individuals and corporations are some of the policies mentioned.
On Tuesday, Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, presented the 2025-2026 budget address to the nation, laying out a series of bold and people-centered initiatives aimed at improving the quality of life for all St. Lucians. Delivered under the theme, Responsible Governance for a Stronger Nation, the budget introduced a suite of social and economic relief measures.
I can stand here today with confidence and say that St. Lucia is ready for whatever may come its way. What I know with absolute certainty is that we have been able to pay our bills. we have been able to pay public servant salaries, given civil servants salary increases, back pay and bonuses, improve the life of our pensioners, and given our young people confidence through the youth economy, while creating for the MSME program an environment for small entrepreneurs to grow their business.
The latest national budget introduces a range of relief-focused measures with no new taxes, contrary to what the opposition believes will be required to fund this budget. Key initiatives include full August salaries for temporary teachers, $250,000 for feminine hygiene support in schools, and an expanded tuition aid for nursing students at SALCC, up to full coverage in the final year. Preschool support has been boosted, and the government will now fund 2 additional CXC subjects per student. A tax amnesty program has been extended to May 2026. Over 1,900 government workers will gain permanent status after 2 years, while pension reforms include tax-free pensions, income from January 2025, and a $600 one-time payment and NIC pension increase tied to the cost of living. Public officers like police and firemen will now qualify for NIC pensions. Travelers will enjoy a 50% cut in airport service charges mid-2025, and the personal income tax allowance will raise to $40,000 next year. VAT will be removed from selected food items starting July 2026. Finally, businesses investing in digital tools and training can claim up to $50,000 in tax-deductible expenses.
We have no desire to extend our term to 6 years. We are proud of our work. We are confident in our achievements and the goodwill and common sense of the Saint Lucian people. And so, Mr. Speaker, as we approach our date with destiny, we do so with a full assurance that individuals from every sector of Saint Lucian society can point to the direct benefits to their lives from the work that we have done.
The Prime Minister's address was widely praised for its compassionate approach and practical steps towards economic stabilization, social development, and citizens' empowerment. With a strong focus on education, healthcare, pensions, and tax relief, the 2025-2026 national budget reflects the government's goal of fostering inclusive growth and improving the standard of living across the island. For Hot 7 TV News, Josiah Bisset reporting.
Still in the first segment of the broadcast, the POV. Today you shared your thoughts on the Prime Minister's reassurance to citizens that there will be no new taxes for the fiscal year 2025-2026. Here is your point of view.
See, that's one of the things I admire about the Prime Minister Philip Jopier is that he's very cognizant of the plight of the average people on the streets, and he does his best to always decrease the financial stress and pressures. That is one of the admirable traits of the Prime Minister, and kudos to him. It's great, fantastic. Keep it up, Philip.
I have not seen the Prime Minister's presentation in its entirety, but I will certainly do that. However, I believe in the Prime Minister. I have confidence in him, what he says he'll do, and if circumstances prevail or present itself, I'm sure he will come back to the country or come and explain why he has to do certain things. So that's the confidence I have in him. I'm going forward. I'm looking forward maybe to in the budget debate where I can get more insight into what's happening, particularly in the area of sports. I hope the sports ministry or the sports minister who are doing a fantastic job. Other sports are happy, but in soft sports like karate, Tai Chi, sports that impact on them in the mind, on the character of its participants. I would like to speak to the minister on that, and even like to have an audience with him as far as sports is concerned in that particular area. On behalf of, I can only say that on behalf of Bushido Shotokan Karate Do Academy, I want to thank the young lady, what's her name? JD, for her performance and winning a gold and a silver at Carrie Fisher. That's fantastic. We're going to be proud of her managers, and I know it's not easy in managing sport, as the minister said in her programs I heard, and also the minister. So from Bushido and me, congratulations. Keep on doing it, ladies. Keep on doing it, guys. Let's get involved in sports fully. Sports is important. Get involved in sports. Minister, I hope I can have an opportunity to speak to you after your budget debate and thing. Sports is important. More so karate.
I personally can take the Prime Minister's word for it, because he has that tendency of telling us one thing and he do another. Because he first added a tax to 0.5, he said it's for health and security. He came back and tell us that it wasn't for health and security. It's the World Bank that asked him to put it to get a loan. I think he have taken 2 loans for St. Jude's, and up to now we can't get St. Jude's. So this thing he come around and say about he will not add no more tax, I don't believe that. Because personally, I believe there is a tax coming for health and security again.
The fiscal year for 2025, to harness the shock of not adding no more taxes, it's a good initiative, but sometimes you have to look into the nook and crannies of what taxes is portrayed to be. If you pay in taxes, tax is supposed to be a subsidiary allocated for the government to pick up funds. Now, if there is no more new taxes, it's a good referendum, but seeing right now the state of the country now, it will also add to adhere people paying more taxes when this little money should be allocated to better places.
Well, it's a good initiative. Number one, I'll be able to spend a little more money, which everybody do want to happen. And let me just say this on the Prime Minister. I mean, he is a good man. I mean, I care what people say about him. I know him personally. He's a people's person. Okay, right now I am endorsing him. He care about the poor. He care about the needy. And red to me is life. That's blood. And anytime, I say that because I laugh at, anytime red is involved, that's life. And yellow is pierce, that's matière. But let me be, I like to kid around, but honestly speaking, the Prime Minister is doing a good job, and may God bless you, sir. And also his cabinet colleagues, they're good. Especially I'll point out his name, Mr. Richard Frederick. You go, boy. You'll not be offended if I call you boy. You're a man, okay? But you're doing a good job, so keep it up. Finally, what I want to say, that's a good idea. And Prime Minister, keep doing the good work you're doing. God bless you.
I commend the government for that. That's very good if they're going to do that for our Saint Lucian people, because we need a little to make a little more money. We need to build up ourselves. You know, some of us things so hard now, you know, but now if they do that, things will get much better. And for now, I see things they're doing a little better. They're doing a little good things for now, so I don't know for later. So, well, we're looking out for all of these things, these good things they say they're going to be doing.
My personal perception of the world today is that we should embark on a one world government. And what we have to do is to rechannel all the resources of the world under one government. And basically, we sell our labor and no tax, no debts, no education fees, no health care, and that is it. That's the only solution. Nationalism was founded upon concept of war, conquest, which brought all the rape and the disappearance of indigenous people. We were not formed on anything good. So my personal take is that we should abandon all these nationalistic principles and embark on a one world system where no more taxation, no more debts. People are born in debts and you die in debts. When you die, you're still paying debts. What kind of world is this? It's a mockery. We are basically in this world as guests of the world, and we should not be paying for anything. The only thing we give you is our labor, and you provide us with every single thing. When I work, I should be contributing to everybody in the world building their house.
I'm hoping so. If he says that in the house yesterday at his mother's speech, I am hoping that he keep his reality for true and keep up to what he said, that there will be no tax for 25, 26, and that we will get a little more confidence in him if he does things such as these kind of things. No tax for 2025, 2026, and that we have to go through this thing. I'm hoping so, and I'm wishing him the best in all, and his ministers, all of them, especially Frederick, which I admire very much. I admire him. He keeps up to his words, and he does very much of his work.
Yeah, first of all, I'm not a political analyst. I'm a realist. But the Prime Minister makes a statement that is bold and strong. He may mean well, I can't judge his heart, but there are so many external factors. And with this tariff increase of Trump, the tariff wars, the tariff toys, increasing tariffs, that's a very thing to hard to predict. And if he's so sure that he will not increase any taxes until the fiscal year, probably he's planning to resign or call the session soon, and if he doesn't know that he can hold the thing. But honestly, to a serious note, I think that's a very difficult thing to keep, because the external factors are beyond our control. If it happens, all well and good, but I think it'll be a serious challenge for any government that's in power. And to add, the natural disasters, hurricanes, earthquake, you have no control over that. So I'm saying you never know. The Prime Minister may have to revisit that, or have clauses that is conditional to natural disasters and so on and so on. But it cannot be just a carte blanche statement.
Well, I listened to the Prime Minister's speech last night, but it was good. But when he talked about the tax, I'm a person like to watch and see before I speak.
Want to share your point of view with us on trending topics in the news? We would love to hear from you. Look out for our reporters or head over to our Facebook and Instagram pages at Caribbean Hot 7 TV. Coming up next, citizens are being urged to cut out the misinformation as it relates to the impact of U.S. tariffs on local cost of goods. And prospective homeowners implored to consider agricultural and environmental planning before constructing their homes. The details to these stories and much more when we come back.